KPEL News Time is 7:45. This is Acadiana's Morning News with Brandon Como and Bernadette Lee. It's also time for Brand Buzz with Jaci Russo joining us on the phone lines live from New Orleans. Jackie, good morning.
Good morning. That's because I'm a traveling fool. I was at Notre Dame this weekend. Jackson had a baseball prospect camp there, and then work in New Orleans today. So I'm on the phone and on the road everywhere this week.
So before we start, I got to ask you, first of all, how was Notre Dame?
It was everything you'd want it to be and more.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it really was. It was amazing. I mean, we saw Touchdown Jesus. The football stadium is right in the middle of the campus, which I love. The baseball park feels iconic. The whole thing was just incredible.
Awesome.
And I know as a sophomore, he was especially honored to be included in such a company. I mean, there were players from all over the country. I was thinking, we're like different because we flew here. We flew the furthest. We hadn't even traveled the farthest to get there. There were kids from the West Coast, East Coast, North, South, even a kid from Canada. So it was an honor, I think, for him to be included. And as a sophomore, he showed up and played well. And so he was excited about that. The coaches had some really nice things to say.
Yeah, I saw the picture you put of him taking batting practice, and wow, that must have been amazing being at Notre Dame.
I shot video like crazy. I mean, he's on the field in a Notre Dame baseball uniform playing for the Notre Dame head coach. It was really cool.
That is. And bonus, Jackie, the Cajuns won this weekend too.
Well, that was the other thing is I'm in the stands watching it on my iPad, listening to Jay on the radio, Radio Pup, trying to be quiet because the Irish are playing at the same time. Luckily, the Irish won and the Cajuns won, so my cheering wasn't too weird.
It went in sync. That's awesome. All right, so today's message, Jackie, brand building with boring messages. And it was a commercial that we all saw over the weekend. Acura basically taking the message of safety and presenting it in a unique way.
Well, it's interesting. I get it. They're looking at what's been happening at some other lines around them who are getting knocked for bad safety ratings. And so I'm sure they took this opportunity and said, we have these really great safety ratings. We need to talk about that. We need to show that off because our competition is failing when it comes to keeping people safe. So I understand the catalyst. But all I've been able to imagine since I saw the commercial the first time is the agency sitting in that room, being told by the client, hey, here's the plan, guys. We're going to do a spot. It's going to be great. It's going to be different. I really want it to stand out and build our brand. And it's going to be all about crash test dummies and safety. And you have to imagine the agency was like, what? Really? How do we make that different? How do we make that interesting? I mean, you've got to be kidding me. It's the same old spot everybody does. You see the dummies in the car. You see the car in slow-mo down the ramp. You see it hit the wall. The voiceover says, safety ratings, important, we care. And so what I love is what Acura did with it. They took this normal, bland, boring concept that in no way builds brands and turned it on its head. And if you haven't seen it already, what they did is they took the dummies and made them human-like. And so what you realize after the setup is done, the engineer has basically put his family in the car.
And so
it's his son and daughter in the back seat. It's his wife in the passenger seat, and it's a dummy that looks just like him in the driver's seat. And all of a sudden, like a ton of bricks. Oh, okay. They take it personally. It matters. It's not just dummies.
Exactly. Like it's real. It's real.
Right. And so they take it seriously. It's important to them. They go out of their way to make safety personal. And so that to me was what I got from it. And I thought, okay, what an interesting way to get people talking because people love it or hate it. You can't be on the fence about this spot.
No.
I love it. Brandon is like, ew, it's creepy.
It really was. That was the impression I got. And then as I looked through your segment on Razor Branding blog about it, and I saw, well, look, I wasn't the only one. Other people found it creepy as well.
Oh, Michael hates it. I watched it, and it brought a tear to my eye. I mean, and it wasn't even like pollen or sinus season. I'm telling you, full on, connected to that spot, waterworks, made me cry. I rewound it and had Michael come in from the kitchen and said, hey, watch this. And he goes, those are creepy. And I thought, oh, I get it. You're connecting with women. That's very smart, Acura. Very smart.
Because it sure, I was like, yep, those look like real people, you know?
Right.
That's like real,
Right.
like they actually care about me. That's exactly what I thought.
Exactly. And so it hits home because you think, okay, this is building on the differences. This is making it personal, and it makes a connection to me. I had an Acura MDX years ago, and I thought, I always did feel safe in that car. Now, I don't think I had that thought before the spot, but it worked. It's working. It's doing its job to connect safety to Acura and making it personal as if they take it more seriously than the other car companies do.
Absolutely.
They don't just treat them like dummies.
Right. It's like real people, you know?
Yeah. No, it's genius marketing. I love when somebody does it right.
Well, and let me say this too. One compliment I will give to the commercial as someone who loves to work with cameras, especially in filming things, the different angles that they were able to get of, crashes happening and such. Just the attention to detail that was given in this commercial also helps its case as well overall.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they went all out. They made sure that beyond the shadow of a doubt, you saw this from every conceivable angle, connected with it, and had a reaction to it. Whether you loved it or you hated it, you remembered it. And that's the point, right?
Absolutely.
And their tagline too. I have to admit, this is a fantastic tagline when they say, "When you don't think of them as dummies, something amazing happens." So, I mean, really, the more I look at it, even though the creepiness factor comes into it, the more I look at it from a branding perspective, they really, as you point out, Jackie, they hit it right in all the different areas.
Which tells me that you don't have to tell the same story the same way. Yeah. No matter what it is that you've decided to make the focus of your campaign, because you've decided that when you look at your target audience and the message that's going to matter to them, that's important. Okay, so the target audience is women. The message is safety. Okay, so find a way to tell that story differently. Do what we call change the conversation. And that's what Acura did.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Jaci Russo, Brand Buzz segment that we always have here on Mondays. Jackie, all right, so where can our listeners go to check out all of this great information that you have to offer?
RazorBrandingBlog.com.
All right, Jaci Russo, live from New Orleans, has been our guest this morning. Jackie, we appreciate it as always.
Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good one.
You too.
Okay, coming up now on 7:53. Got our Fox Business Report on the way. I can see how you would think it was creepy, though, Brand. I can see your creep factor.
No, it did come off that way. I do have to admit, though, as I look at it from the branding perspective.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And from the perspective that as we've kind of gone along here, and I know it's probably not true in every single case, but if you're going to connect with somebody in this instance, women, you want to make sure you're making that connection with women. And you, her, I mean, others, it's connecting with, and I think that might be the most important thing to it.
Yeah, we women. We're the devil, huh?
We know how y'all control everything.
We do. We're evil. Well, at least you learned early. It's coming up now on 7:54. A quick break and Fox Business is on the way.